to begging for mercy, and I will never stop killing you. Oh shit.
Hey, Scarlet.
It's gaming, isn't it?
Yes,
No, I said hi. I just said hi.
No! No! Gaming! 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 Deku, Deku! Revive me, revive me, revive me.
What the
What? What happened?
Oh, he sniped me!
Oh, righty guys. Let's get ourselves going. As you know, we are currently in chapter 10 now. Is where we're at. With the 5th arc, Upper Traverse, seems very nice. But as I'm kind of shifting a lot, there's a lot of stuff within the video games that I have been doing lately. Today I actually installed a game I haven't played in a long time, and that game pretty much will be receiving updates to the game itself, but that doesn't mean that that game is going to still be enjoyable. For me, there's been this one game that nobody can ever play again through Steam, and you can't go and buy it. You can't go and get the game anymore. It's not available on Steam, which really complicates a lot of things. And if you have a game that you cannot seem to quite run through Windows 11, you always can at least do a couple of things. One, you could go out and get a Steam OS or get a Linux-based system, be able to play some of those games, because some of those games may end up running on that system compared to running elsewhere. And Linux is one of those platforms that I will advocate for gaming in a way that you can be able to play games that you might not be able to play on Windows, because Windows 11 decides to not support, or decides to just basically bork these games because they don't support it, and a lot of things that are there. Hopefully your job interview goes well, Glass. Hopefully that is there. First off, I need to open up chat from multi-chat, not just chat for for these. I need to have chat open for both YouTube and Twitch, which I do love Stream About for that. It absolutely allows for me to live stream on both platforms, and get access to both, and be able to get it that way. Yeah.
I can't believe we're still in Cocoon. It's kind of creepy.
Well, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know how you're gonna get through the about the rank play. I don't know anything. Hold on, let me go to Libre. We gotta do that. Okay. I really hate this sometimes. Yeah, so it ends, right? I can skip that at least. Okay. Now I'm gonna go with you because I really only need to heal light. And then we'll heal Vanille. Quick. I can go back to Ruthless. Nicely done. Like, to be honest, like, it happens. I don't know. Select the members of your battle team. To take on a new role, a member must first learn an ability for that role. You can teach a party member new abilities via the Crysterium. Interesting. So now we're starting to, everybody's learned everything now? That just seems weird. A little bit. But to be honest, the 5th arc,
This place, it must be an ark.
An ark? That's what they called them.
Long ago, the Fal'Cie who made their home on Grand Pulse were afraid of invasion from the outside. those weapons in arcs. And they hid the arcs all over the world.
Everyone on Grand Pulse knew the legend.
So, this is basically a Pulse armory.
Mm-hmm. Most of us never believed in them. A few people tried searching, but they never found a thing. Who'd have thought to look on Cocoon?
Right under our noses. Some secret they kept. Those Sanctum guys, what are they up to?
The story's not done. There's more.
They used to say the Arcs had a more practical purpose.
Huh. Really?
Yeah, to force Fal'Cie to master their shiny new powers.
Huh.
Okay, so I get it. Daisley's goal is to forge us into stronger weapons. Right.
Not Seath, but monsters all the same.
Think of it as training for the fight ahead.
Herb's right.
Wait, what was that?
Okay, what is this? What is going on right now?
These guys again.
Fun times.
Over there. We gotta keep moving.
Okay, so now we can harness the full power of Sentinel, Saboteur, and Synergist now. But in order to harness... But not able to harness any... They're able to harness anything. So that means now everybody can learn a little bit of everything. Fine by me. Which means medic is pretty much basically we're just gonna work on the ones that have levels first. And this will actually be nice because this should have been available from the get-go. Oh, really? I should have came over here to finish that HP 7 there, but to be honest, Libre scope, save that for later. But yeah, no, oops, a focus revealed. You guys can pause this at any point. I am just going through this. People. Sarah Ferron. Okay. Okay. The 5th arc. Primer battles. To your character, however, a character must have learned at least one ability from a role before he or she can do it. There's like a bug right there. It says do and it. If you wish, you can cast the character in a new role. First, access the costume and teach that character ability from the desired role. Master enough roles, and your choice of pentagrams will expand significantly. Yeah, that's nice, but it's like so that just means that if I wanted to have everybody have set up, I'm still never going to outpace or use anybody for a particular decision. But I will still at least have some of them have all of them at least learn medic, because I feel like being able to have a medic in our third slot. Now, do I have to have lightning as my primary? Because if I can remove lightning as my primary, then I can switch lightning to somebody else to be in the primary, which to be honest, that would be nice. Just swap these players around. Let me go check. Pentagrams. Can I just swap lightning around to put that there? I could remove, because I would want to put the, because we do need to have a med person. I could do this to be more precise. Battle teams have changed, which we're gonna start with Commando, then we go with Ravager, Saboteur. Okay, I like that, and then we go with, we'll leave that there. But then I want to take and remove and keep the remove that to put a Commando. Then we go Sentinel, Commando, Ravager. To having that synergy. To have it right shield there. Then I'm gonna go and put Commando, Ravager for aggression. Then I'm gonna go with Try Disaster at the bottom. But we will keep Ruthless as our default. So now we can use whoever I decide I want to use. Which in a game like this should have really have been a little bit earlier than having light be primarily the one from previous, that really should have been a slightly a little bit earlier. Nope, it's staggered, so we might as well just attack this and get it over with. So now I'm going to use Synergist. Just so that Vanille can heal up. A little bit. So now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the game that actually should have been what it really should have started out with. Like, I understand the Crystarium and understand some of these things, but we're getting to the point of where, you know, going in and playing through each of the Final Fantasy games, like, let me be clear. Okay, let me be clear. Final Fantasy. I'm making sure I didn't miss anything from up here. So that means lightning will be probably at the fore end. On this. Okay. Where I like to really use these guys, to be honest. But to be honest, like, playing through a game like this and coming off the heels of Final Fantasy XII, like, I would have some questionable decisions with it. But at the same time, you know, they did a linear style game prior to that. They did Final Fantasy X that way. So it's... And a lot of people will credit Final Fantasy X being better than Final Fantasy XII. And to be honest, yes, I could probably say that, yes, that's true. Because yes, I have played both Final Fantasy XII and I've played Final Fantasy X as well. I have not beaten the game though, but to be honest, both of those games are fantastical games in itself. You know, like I always said, the Final Fantasy games, the best ones were on the PS1 and PS2. Final Fantasy 13 is right here on the heels of being one of the best games in the franchise, as well. So like, I will tell you, like a lot of the Final Fantasy games, just because the old Final Fantasy games, because they're just not on my top 5 or 6 or whatever, does not mean that they're bad games. Okay, don't go come complaining that, telling me that oh, your favorite Final Fantasy is this old Final Fantasy. They're all great. I'm just saying, like, these are the games that I prefer to the thing is because I just like that style of things, because going through my top 10 though, Final Fantasy 1 is on that list. Final Fantasy 1 is on the list, so it's not like that Final Fantasy, that I give Final Fantasy a bad that Final Fantasy gets its that Final Fantasy gets in a lot of these games, you know, I can tell you that it does not bother me one bit to go out and play these games. Because I don't care, you know, what a lot of people really think. Most of the time, like, I will play games that I really want to play, but sometimes I'll ask you guys to say, what do you guys want to see? I'm not gonna be like, no, because let me be clear, I've played almost anything to the sun for these games. Like, I've played pretty much basically on understanding that I'm almost willing to play almost anything, but I have to be willing to sit there and like, okay, is this something that I'm willing to play, or is it something that, okay, yeah, I could play this, but then it, oh, why did I used that on Pulse Knight when I should have really used it on the RADEON. But, you know, I never really go out and say, look, no game is pretty bad out there. I have yet to come across a game that has given bad taste in my mouth. You know, that have basically said, okay, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna say, okay, this game is pretty horrible. This game is like, no. There has not been a single horrible game out there. Most games these days, if I'm going to be willing to play a game, is it enough for me to replay that game? Then yeah. But there's only been a handful of games that I won't play live because, unfortunately, I am not going to play games that involve with other people being around, because I just don't want to be like that. When I do play multiplayer games, it's going to be games where it's not going to be as horrible, like Jackbox. Like, I'm not going to sit there and play Jackbox again because things can be pretty bad. And so if I'm going to play Jackbox, it's going to be people that need to be absolutely great people and not horrible people to play that game. People that are going to be willing to follow Twitch's etiquette, because if you're not going to be willing to follow Twitch etiquette on top of my rules, then basically you're the one that's in trouble, not me. Because I'm going to basically report your channel to Twitch and report you as somebody being that way. And it's going to take a lot for me to ban you on my channel, though. for it. And it's gonna be that one thing that it's like I'm not gonna sit there and tell you, hey, look, you need to follow my stuff, because the biggest thing is right around here is, look, we are a community. I'm a community that's going to dedicate myself, including YouTube too, by the way, following these etiquettes. You know, for me, if you're not willing to follow on both platforms the way that you know, we show kindness around here. We are pretty much basically somebody that if somebody starts getting angry at somebody else, then I kind of have to really take that into consideration, that we are somebody around that. Yes, those are the things that I really strive to make sure that we work together. We're not like a channel that should be putting other people down just because of their identity, just because of their political affiliation. Now, of course, there is only one political affiliation that will get you banned on here, and that's for you to figure that out for yourself. But I don't ban people just because I'm willing to have at least a discussion on a lot of things. Willing to at least that, but if it starts getting to the point where it's heated, you're getting out of here. But if you are out there and you're willing to end up supporting a certain community, or ending up basically doing that, then you know better when you're forcing your political views on somebody. You know better than somebody else telling you you can't be on this channel because you don't like their political, because you don't like what they're doing, and you go and you say, okay, well, I don't like this, so I'm just gonna continue to do that. But then on your channel, if you're going to come in and bash somebody for it, but on your channel you're not going to allow that to happen, then what's the point? What's the point in having a channel that you're just going to sit there and do something like that? You know? You know, I'm not going to sit here and go out and be somebody that's going to tell you, hey, you can do that on your own channel. You can do that on your own stream, on your own platform. But my platform is pretty much basically, we do talk politics on occasion, but when I do, it's only exclusively on Euro Truck. I don't, or on my days that I do not play like a story-driven game. You know, I have a thing that story-driven games are pretty much basically, as soon as 13 is fully done, we're dropping into the second one. And then once we get done with the second game, Hero's Amulet casts Critical Bravery. I'm wondering... Okay, so I'm wondering if we go to Saboteur... So we'll be able to learn Jinx at some point. Days for that one. Okay. Is there at any point are we only able, I'm just only doing, yeah, it seems like you're only able to have 2 equipment, so I don't know if that'll change down the line, but for now, that's what we're gonna have to deal with.
This arc thing is here to train us up for the end of the world, huh?
Actually, no, let's just see. Okay. So I literally will tell you that
Try to go back to Grand Pulse.
that's kind of how we do things with live streams and stuff. Is basically like if you belong to believing yourself as a MAGA person or somebody who believes in Trump, I'm not gonna sit here and talk to you because I'm not gonna be that person that's gonna sit here and argue on why you voted for Trump and why you voted for him. I'm not gonna sit there and tell you you voted for him because I was somebody that used to believe in Trump as somebody who could be a good person. And that, so you have to really come with that mindset that I was somebody that listened, that followed. But what really actually made me realize is that in 2021, when January 6th happened, was what literally took me to believing in something else. It really basically said, okay, can I really trust this man? Can I really believe what he says? Or is it something that I have to change my mind and change to believe somebody else? And so far, every time I have basically gone and watched somebody, I can tell you, I have basically fell into being a Democrat, not a Republican, or being a moderate Democrat, not somebody that's completely far left, because if I was completely a far left Democrat, I'd probably believe in removing guns, believing in taking away your right to vote, taking like that's what Republicans, like, taking your right to vote is not what I want to be doing. I don't want to, there's a lot of things that I don't want to do. I don't want to be somebody that takes away your guns. I don't want to be somebody that believes that you should follow the mindset of a lot of things. I am the mindset of that we that I stick with the Constitution most of the time. I will tell you I will stick with it and let people make their own decisions. You know, I'm somebody that's a big decision maker, that likes to make sure that people have the right to make their own decisions. I am also somebody of the mindset that likes to take privacy into her own hands. You know, I'm a little bit privacy conscious. I'm not completely privacy conscious on everything. I don't care if I just want to be able to have at least some privacy, because if we don't have some sense of privacy, I'm not somebody that's going to say, hey, you need to go out and use always open source. I don't care. But I always like to make sure that if I find something out, like Discord, like, I'm not going to change my stance with Discord, because right now I'm still using Discord because I haven't had to submit anything. As soon as I have to start submitting something, then I will shut down Discord. That's how I do things. If something comes up to where I have to change to using, like, that's why I stopped on TikTok. I don't use TikTok anymore because I have to freaking submit my ID because they found that I was needing to be required to submit because I was pretty much basically saying, oh, you're not 18. Like, they literally told me that I was not freaking 18. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm 30 freaking years old, and I'm like, you should know this, that I'm 13. That I'm not 13, that I am freaking 80 years old, or something like that. Like, they can tell you if you're in your 80s or something like that, but me being in 30, like, it's like, it surprises me that they can look at me and say that I'm under the age of 18. And I'm like, nope, okay, I'm not gonna submit to your platform now because of age verification. I am not going to submit ID if I don't have to. The only time I've done that was with YouTube. I only did it with YouTube because of premium. I pay for premium and they needed to make sure that I'm paying properly, and then, to be honest, YouTube is the only platform that I do because they didn't ask me to submit my ID for age verification. They asked because, you know, if like, for me, like, if you're gonna be somebody that's going to be able to start taking money out of a platform like that, or taking like, you're doing this as, like, kind of like a business or a job, then yeah, I can see that. I can see a little bit of understanding, but it's like I'm not gonna sit there and believing everything within these platforms. It's like you want me to I'm not gonna go and do that on TikTok, to be more precise, because I know who runs it. I know who is out there, who's got hold of it now. If it was under China, I don't think I would have to submit my ID, to be frank. But because of currently who it's owned, who basically has some resemblance under Oracle, like, I'm not gonna submit my ID for it. If you're somebody that's there trying to access or getting more information on me, I'm not gonna submit that. I'm just not gonna upload any more to that platform. And that's kind of the thing. And to be honest, like, I didn't have a lot of following on Twitter. Okay, I did not have that following, so I ended up just switching over to Blue Sky because I'm like, if I don't have a lot of people on there on that platform, then I'm just gonna sit and be on a platform that's gonna support me, and that's gonna have at least some control over what I say and what I do, but not to the extent of if I am somebody that, you know, is a political person that has political things that I am critical of Elon Musk, I'm not going to be on a platform that is going to be politically on that platform, because I should be allowed to criticize, and I should be allowed to have that availability to make those decisions on that, and not be set in stone and believing and basically, if I can't be critical of somebody, then why should I not be allowed to talk about it? Like the people who really don't quite understand a lot of this like, I have to tell you that there's a lot of these platform holders out there that really are just there to have you set to believe one way, and that's it. And if you're somebody that's on Truth Social, that I call Life Social now, because to be honest, it's not even, it's a platform where you're only meant to believe one way, and only meant to not be allowed to have different views, and that's not a good thing. No, of course, having some things, having some speech taken away a little bit, just to, you know, say certain, like, you can't say certain words because it's like the N-word, or saying certain things just because you don't like, because, okay, that's fine, but going out and making it so that every platform, everybody that utilizes it has to go and follow a certain way, then I don't subscribe to those beliefs. I am somebody that's willing that you can be on a platform and be able to speak your mind. But if you end up following and breaking TOS or whatever because they don't like what you say, then you have other platforms. They're not, it's not like you're being silenced just to have to be able to speak your mind in one way or another. You have okay, so that means we're gonna have to go around the other way.
Nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go, yeah, there's a way, but we have to go. Okay, no, we've already gone that way. Okay. So it's one of those things that, you know, that's why there's so many platforms you can pick from. If you think that you are exclusively utilizing a platform because, you know, and you end up breaking the TOS and you get banned off the platform, then that's your fault. You have to fix that. You have to make better decisions on your life and not become so dependent on one single platform either, because sometimes you might be following the TOS, but then you just suddenly get banned for no reason. And those are the things that are really bad. You know, there are times where people have gotten banned off of YouTube because YouTube is basically, you know, and you were following, you're doing everything right and things like that. It's the same thing on YouTube. It's the same thing on Twitch and other platforms where you do follow, but then you know, you see somebody else breaking the rules and they don't do anything about it because they're raking them in money. And it's like, that's the whole point, is some of these platforms want more money, so they're just going to allow some of these people to break those rules and allow them to be on the platform. And that's not right. If I have to follow TOS as a small creator, then everybody should have to follow it. You shouldn't have to be a creator following these rules and then breaking them when you get a certain way. Like, I will tell you, like, I have done some things that are not,
But I promised.
that, you know, that I there was a time where I did not follow TOS. On Trovo, I did not follow one rule I did not follow on TOS. But there was only one, and that rule was copyrighted material. I did not follow the TOS on that. I followed it as if, you know, I followed it to a point. There was only one thing I didn't do on that platform that I probably should have been following directly on that platform. And that was me not following the platform of doing that. And I followed it too mostly. If it wasn't part of the game, then I didn't. Then I was basically said, okay. I basically said I'm not going to follow this platform.
Promised.
Then I'm gonna follow that platform and believe. I'm gonna follow the platform's thing. And basically did it. Like, if I was driving truck, I would allow for, like, or I was able to play a radio station and stuff, and I listened to music that way. I did not go and make it a full, undivided point of, if I sit there and I'm playing Fortnite, I didn't turn on creator, comments or creator, setup. I basically to prevent creators. I allowed for those materials to just go, because to be honest, I didn't care. Okay, I didn't care if it was not copyrighted or not. As long as it followed the game, as long as I followed the things that were course to be set up for that game. And that's it. Why? That's the one thing that I basically did it. I didn't do it in the sense of, hey, I am playing Call of Duty, I'm gonna listen to some metal music. I'm gonna listen to some radio station out of UK or whatever. I just followed based on what the game was set up for. And that's how I did things.
Size of this place. How do you hide something like this?
I don't know what's waiting for us here, but we better stick together.
So, that's how I did a lot of my, what I did things there. And it was part of the game. I didn't complain. I didn't do something where I didn't do it like that. I did it to the point of making sure that, hey, okay, this platform basically, this thing is like, that's why nothing in the background, that's why I still have that same rules. If it's not part of, like, that's why when I'm on Twitch, I do follow the rules. I don't, like, I try to follow the rules to the most extent. I don't try to break them. If I do, then I can get myself into trouble. So I just usually just try my best. And to be honest, I haven't broken a single rule. I did go out and I actually literally got a copyright claim taken off of my YouTube because I knew I had the rights. Because, to be honest, I've been playing Euro Truck for quite some time. And American Truck for quite some time. I've been playing it since 2012. When that game was, not since 2012, but close to it. I've been playing that game for this long, and one of the things that I did was that if somebody copyright claimed me, I went and looked up the copyright claimant, because if the copyright claimant is not owned by the company that they say they are, like I did that with a song that somebody basically came in and said they're gonna claim the title thing for Euro Truck. I literally went and claimed and reported the channel. I literally reported the channel for falsifying information about copyright, because a copyright that's been given since 2012 when the game came out, and I've been using that game for quite some time, had no issues with copyrights, have nothing wrong. SCS allows us to use the songs, to use it in game, as long as they're copyright free, you know. That's why when I play Euro Truck, I always did something like that. And that's where some of the times you can get away with that. If the claimant does not seem to be right, and the game has been out for quite some time, and you've been playing that game for quite some time, and this person just started claiming on it, you have rights to grounds for fixing that claim. Because nobody should be claiming a video on it on things like that. So I'm like, okay, so I'm like, yeah, you don't want to use the system, like, why abuse a system? So that's kind of the way that I look at things, is like, don't abuse the system because you want to get a leg up in the world and you want to take somebody else's money, because you're pretty much basically trying to ruin somebody else's life. Like, there are a lot of people that will go in and abuse the copyright system because you try and claim something that's been out for 12 years, or trying to make a claim on it. Like, I literally went and reported the channel because it's like, I don't rarely report channels. I rarely try not to do things like that. If I know that, okay, yeah, whatever, this person is copyright claiming something, whatever. I have some copyrights that I've had on this channel that I basically just basically forwent the video and just got rid of it. I don't care, hardly anybody's around to watch it anyways, so it was like, whatever.
The old man still got it.
Whatever, and I don't care. It's like, I'm not gonna be this kind of person that okay, you're okay, so we have all of that done here. Okay. So now we're just trying to get through and completing okay, so that means I'd have to go up to the top with that. Okay. Now, you are a medic. I would rather the medic I'd rather you be finish up that medic equipment for it. Because we need a medic. And I really should be paying a little bit more attention to how there, and I'll tell you this, guys, I think this is about where I did not complete the game. I got as far as this way, and then I just basically got bored of it. In that regards to things within the game, I never really finished it. I will tell you, I've always started a video game and never finished them. I've always, with a handful of a few exceptions, I have completed. Okay, so the rainbow anglet gets rid of day, allows us to protect us on days. Let's go over here. Let's go do hope. You are also a medic. You are pretty much basically almost finished. With that, so we'll just go with that there. You are a commando. I still want to actually you to be primarily gonna cost 2,000 to go from there. I'm gonna try to unlock as much through that. You're also saboteur has not been fully there, so we'll finish that. Then I'm gonna go to also try to get that one set up there. So yeah, now this is actually starting to become actually like a good Final Fantasy where, you know, learning the ropes, it shouldn't take you this long to learn the ropes in a video game. To be honest. Actually, no, I never finished it, but I do believe, actually, I do believe that I did find somewhere where I did get stuck. But so far, I've barely gotten stuck in this game. There was portions of the game where I did get stuck at one point, that I've just like, okay, I got through this. I used a little bit of help from a guide, but I only use it if I'm stuck and I can't figure it out myself. I will do it that way, but that's about it. I don't go out and use a guide just to do it. I did that with Final Fantasy VIII because I was like, okay, why am I did go through this, I went through to the end of the game. And then why am I failing? And I found out why. So I ended up just basically figuring that, okay, I will use a guide, but that's about the only time I've ever gone out and used a guide for anything. Okay, so we know that we can go down that way. Oh, okay. I see, okay. So basically we go down. There's the chest there. Which is fine. So I don't like to use guides unless I absolutely have to because I'm stuck. So, and I've only ever used a guide once, I think twice. I used it once at the beginning because I'm like, okay, what do I do? Like, sometimes like those things. Techniques. Because that'll help. Us to get through some of these things. Lore Master. Nice, we got an achievement. Love achievement, love getting achievements in video games. I love when I can get an achievement that just feels natural to getting one. Those are the things that I love. When I'm not like an achievement hunter. I don't like to hunt achievements, to be precise. I just love to, like, if I love the game and I'm gonna go out and play it, I will probably come back and play it again and try to get the achievement for it. Those are the games that I do tend to play, where if I feel like, okay, I love this game, I'm gonna go back and try to go for achievements. Hi. I really do hate those things. But okay, so we've tamed some Gil. Alright, so yeah, so we were going the right way. But I'm gonna actually have to tell you that we're gonna do not save. Yes, cancel the save. I'm gonna go to shop. Okay, so we've got a lot of things for upgradable, but is it, which one, is it Unicorn Mart that I need? No, it's the Up in Arms maybe? No. B&W Outfitters. Okay, yeah. Here, it's 9,000 for this gold bangle. I do have a titanium bangle sitting somewhere. that somebody is using, and Hope is using that right now. I have been basically not been getting these ones. Like a Powers wristband, not gonna use. Like to be honest, you should probably, if you're gonna increase magic, you might as well go with the Shaman's Mark rather than going with the Magician's Mark. And the Magician's Mark, I have one that I am going to go down to accessories, and I can sell that for 500 gil, or I can go and dismantle this Magician's Mark and get a transformer out of it, and then I can go and I wanna no, I'm trying to figure out a transformer is only gonna be that there. We got 10 of those. Okay, so a shattered bone. To go up that way. And we get a 50% bonus. Then we'll go with that. That is now pretty much basically at level 5. Or there. Can now receive double the XP. Okay, Black Belt has now been officially upgraded to 20% on that. That spark plug I will put on our spark ring over here to get us that 30% resistance to lightning for it. So we do have a few weapons that are up at a higher rank for some of these. But I think I'm gonna leave it there for today, though. Why? Well, it's time for okay, so you are fully up there. Ravager's next then, but that's 2,000 to go up there. So then we'll do you there. Okay, if I have to go up Okay, then we have Saboteur. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go commando here as well. Well, it looks like we only have one left for that, so that should be no CP points available to us. So that in and of itself, no, we're not going to do over new data because, to be honest, that's pretty much about it. But for today, guys, that's going to be it. And it's going to be it because, so anyway, I'm gonna get off. I was checking a message. Sorry, and then I got distracted. So I'm gonna get off. We will be back here with Final Fantasy XIII. I might be back tomorrow with it, but it's supposed to be your truck, so we will most likely do that. But for sure, Wednesday, we'll be back with 13. And once we're done with 13 on that, we'll hop in and probably do 13-2 for that. So anyway, make sure you guys are subscribed here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that bell notification. This is the only time I do mention YouTube. I don't mention it any other time unless I'm talking about both. I talk about both platforms. You can watch however you want to watch. Choose however you want to watch. It's your choice to make that decision, not mine. I'm going to tell you that if you're watching on YouTube, we only do it in the afternoon. If you're watching here on Twitch, we do it twice a day. Afternoons are usually only about anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours in the afternoons. Occasionally, if I end up getting started at 3:30, if I'd gotten started then, we would have gone for 2 hours. But I didn't get on at 3:30. I got distracted. So if I get on at 3, if I can get on by earlier, get on at 3 o'clock, then that will last for at least 2.5 hours. So I always like to keep it relatively under 2.5 hours in the afternoons at the most, because not everybody it's one of those things where for story games you want to have at least to go 2.5 hours with some of these things, and you can come in and watch certain parts of it if you're looking at it. Remember, with this review and stuff, I always do chapter 10. I always do it based on whatever the save file leads us to, so that you can do that. I do it that way, but I might go back through and change some of those chapters where for it and do it based on certain areas in the game, but most of the time they're pretty much right there within the save file. So if you are looking for something and you are stuck, always look for that portion of the file where you have it saved. You can always look at my playthrough and see what happens, and see what's going on with that portion of the game. So anyway, we will catch you guys tomorrow. Make sure you guys are also followed here on Twitch. Because if you aren't followed on any of these platforms, you aren't going to get notified when I do go live. I am going to tell you I'm live 7 days a week, at least once a day, twice a day, except for Saturdays. Sometimes Saturdays might happen on an occasion in the afternoon, but that's only if I am, one, available, or two, if Tech Talk is on. Then if I'm not available and or Tech Talk is on, I will not be live. So that's how I do things around here. I do it revolving around a lot of those points and places in doing things. Once I'm going to tell you, once I do get this game done through once I get done through Final Fantasy, I might pick up Diablo, but I'm gonna wait and see when the Steam Summer Sale comes out and see how much they discount Diablo 2 with the upgraded portions, because I would like to be able to play Diablo 2 again, but I want to be able to play it with clarity and play it how it should be played on a certain thing. And Diablo 2 is absolutely a great, fantastic game from Blizzard. Diablo has been pretty much, I played Diablo 1, I have played Diablo 2, I have played Diablo 3 and 4. I've pretty much played all of them, and I love the Diablo 2 the best. But that's just maybe nostalgic talking, because I played Diablo 2 as a kid. It was actually probably the first M-rated title I played, and then Halo's probably the second. To be honest, none of these games really bothered me. None of these games really, in that regard, do it. But anyway, so make sure that whatever platform you're on, make sure you're followed, subscribed, and if you are subscribed here on whatever on YouTube, make sure you hit that bell notification, because you won't get notified if I don't go live. I do post. Not only do I post here when I do go live, I do post on Blue Sky or my Discord when I do go live. I've been trying to be more forward thinking and posting on both platforms, so that you guys can get notified. But anyway, we will catch you guys later. Bye.